This is Dustin Bass with the Sons of History, and you're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Extension Hour. I'm Amy Ressler, County Extension Agent for Family and Community Health. This is the Extension Hour where we talk about Texas A&M, AgriLife, Extension Service, our people, our programs, our partnerships, and we are really excited to have a partnership with the Children's Museum, the Woodlands Children's Museum, and sometimes we do programs over there. We've got some fun stuff scheduled this spring coming up because it's been an interesting year. So let me tell you who our guests are today. We'll just go around the room and have everyone say hello to start with. Get everyone warmed up. We have a very, very special guest. Like all of our guests, I think, are special, but I think this, we have a super special guest this time. So we'll do you last since you're super special. All right, we're going to start out with Carmen Ortega. Carmen is the education coordinator at the Woodlands Children's Museum.
Hello, everybody. I am so happy to be here with you today, and I'm very excited for today and all the things I have to share with you all.
Yeah, thanks, and we're glad you're here, too. And then we also have Mike McBride, who is our program assistant at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be back on the radio and visiting with you today.
Yeah, and our special guest that I said, because I'm warming you up, getting you ready, like, da-da-da, Landon Medina.
Hello, I am 9 years old and third grade, and I'm just happy to be there.
We're glad you're here too, Landon. Okay, so we're going to start out and we're going to talk a little bit about the Children's Museum to start with, and then we'll talk about some other children's activities, and then we'll save the best for last, just again to help Landon get kind of comfortable with what's going on here, and we'll talk about why in the world is Landon even here? Ooh, it's a secret. All right, so we're going to start out. Children's Museum, you guys are really busy, right? So open up again, going. Yes. Do you guys, so just to start out with, so Children's Museum, explain kind of a little bit about what that is, what you guys do.
Yeah, so the Children's Museum is a nonprofit organization. We have different art exhibits, hands-on exhibits where the children actually get to play and learn while they're playing. And we also have educational programs. We have many partnerships that we work with the community. For example, you are one of our partners. Kids Meals, Junior League, Texas Children's Hospital, and I can name so many. Yeah. So we try to be very involved with the community in the Woodlands and surrounding areas.
So the Children's Museum, why does it exist?
To serve a purpose, like a need that families have. Yeah. Of course, we have like our school system and private or homeschoolers, but at the museum, parents that are looking for a need, they can go there, and things that maybe they don't not even aware. So I get to do a lot of the programming, and I use a lot of things, and parents have approached and said, "Oh, I've never thought of doing that. I could do that at home." So I think it's a not only play and learn, but then parents actually get to watch their child learn through play that maybe they don't have that to offer at home.
Right. And what is the kind of the general age range that, I mean, it's any kids can go, right?
Any kid can go. Yeah, our target area is for children 7 and under. Of course, when we have big events for like family, all ages are encouraged, but the exhibits are age appropriate for children 7 and under.
Right. And then, so there is an admission fee to get in. Tell us about that.
So we do have a membership fee, like a fee for the year, or you can pay $7 admission. If their child is under 12 months, their child is free, but it is $7 per person.
Okay. And then just, funding in general, right? So that probably does not cover everything, right?
Right, yes.
So you've got donors and...
We do. We have a sponsorship coordinator, and she also is in charge of doing all the sponsorships and the families that have helped us, and big other companies that help us run the museum that we couldn't do it without them, for sure.
Because $7 is not a lot.
No, it's not.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into all the cool programs that you guys have going, so we know that there's a pandemic going on in the world, right? So what are you guys doing in terms of keeping your audience safe?
To keep them safe. So we've been checking temperatures of everybody, keeping masks on. That's a decision we've made for the safety of the employees or staff members and anybody that might not be comfortable not wearing a mask. So we require masks for everybody. We're sanitizing all the time. We always have been, but even more aware now, so even more. Definitely, for example, even if one of our classrooms, the same students use the same classroom, we make sure to disinfect every single time.
Sure.
So that's how we're trying to keep and we have like Germ-X everywhere and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this show, we're recording the show, and people may watch it at another time and think, oh man, I just missed it. So we're going to talk about some specific dates, but a lot of these dates that we talk about are going to be ones that kind of happen on an annual basis, right? So maybe it's not exactly what Carmen's going to mention now, but it could be similar in the future.
Yes.
So spring break is coming up.
Spring break. So we like alliteration, so we call it spring breakation. So of course, whenever students are out, they want to find fun things to do. So at the museum, we of course have our exhibits. They're always open for play, but we have spring breakation, and we have on our stage, we have entertainment that comes every single day, and then we have at the same time Spring Palooza, which is our science program that we've developed. It's 6 days this year dedicated to different sciences, either chemistry or biology, whatever we decide for that year. And this year we have a special partnership with Junior League that they're going to be partially sponsoring it for their stream event. So we're trying to target not only science, but science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math. And we have different themes every day. Do you want me to share those now? Okay, so we're going to kick off on Monday, the 15th, with Miss Frizzle. So she's going to be our special guest, and she's going to read a book, and then she's going to visit the students that are in the classrooms, and we're going to have a science bingo. So we have different times that you can show up at 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, and 1:30, and there's fun prizes they can win. We also have created a Tunnel of Fame, and we've put different scientists and inventors throughout the year that have done many things that are successful now, like the phones or like electricity and things like that maybe kids don't think about, but it's a way for them to start questioning, like, wait, what did that person do? And trigger them and like start thinking, and hopefully inspiring them to move on towards those sciences. And on the 16th we have Monty the Magician. He's going to be doing different acts, and that day we do have a special science table, and it's go away germs. Of course, we're just talking about the pandemic and what are we doing. So we have a very cool science experiment explaining to them what germs are about. So that would be really fun to check out. And on Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day celebration. So from 10 to 4, we're going to have different activities for St. Patrick's Day. And then we're also going to have a science table where it's bear shadow. So the students or children that come will be able to explore with little bears and how you can create your own shadow and little puppet shadow to take home as well. And on Thursdays, we're having the TCA Performing Artists Le Theater de Marionette puppet show. They're coming at 11 and at 1. And our science theme for that day is erupting rainbows. So we're doing some chemical reactions, and it'll be very colorful. And on Friday, we have TCA Performing Artists Juice Box Jukebox, 11 a.m. and at 1 p.m. That's a tongue twister. Yeah. Juice Box Jukebox. And our theme for that day is filtered light. And they'll get to do some cool glasses, and they're going to have different filtered light little plastic sheets so you can see things in different colors. So how do you see the world in a different color? And then our last day of spring breakation is we're going to have face painting available and nebulas in space. So participants will get to create their own nebulas. So that will be really, really fun to do as well.
Wow, sounds like a great week.
Yes.
Lots of things happening, but it doesn't stop there, right? You guys you have programming going on all the time.
All the time, yes. That's just what you get for those $7 that you pay, you get in. But we also have private classes that we have going on. We have classes for 4-year-olds. We call them workshops. And we have science classes, robotics, art, theater classes. So those are more, you pay additional money, but of course you have those options as well. So you have that. But we have the same type of events going on all year long with different themes, of course. We're not going to have St. Patrick's Day every month, but we try to stay with what the community would like to see.
Nice. And then what you got coming up in April?
Oh, April's the special month. We have a special guest.
Who could that be?
Who could that be? So on April, we've created Get Fit Fridays. We used to do it just for one weekend, but we thought, hey, let's expand it. Let's try something new this year. And every Friday in April, we're inviting special guests. So we have Soccer Shots that's coming in. Fit for Moms is doing a class. We're doing an educational program of do you eat a rainbow every day? So that would be fun to find out if are you eating different colors on your plate every day and how to eat healthy. And we're going to have so an ambulance that's going to come. Nice. Like you can go in there and just take a look at it and bring your teddy bears for a checkup. And then we have a very special guest, and I'll let you share who that is.
All right, so I've got this like alter ego. I dress up, and it's kind of a cross between Rainbow Bright and a rodeo clown. And you know what I'm talking about, right, Mike?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so Chef Plate. And Chef Plate usually likes to teach kids about My Plate, the nutrition, My Plate, like a healthy guide for eating. And we make fun food. Sometimes they're not really food, that we want to eat. But like we use pizza as an example of My Plate, just to kind of remember the parts of My Plate to help kids remember how to eat healthy. And of course, you said you're targeted. The age range is usually like seven
and
or
under.
Yeah, so I try to tone it down for them because get a little excited. And then when I do it at elementary schools, sometimes they're like, "Whoa!" Anyway, it's fun. It's lots of fun. So we'll do that. All right. So let's just recap pretty quickly, like how if you want to find out more about the Woodlands Museum and the Children's Museum, how to find out more information. Where do people go?
You can find us on our website on the woodlandschildrensmuseum.org, or you can call us at 281-465-0955. Any questions that you have, any of our coordinators would be more than happy to answer your questions. And again, that's woodlandschildrensmuseum.org.
Yeah. So Landon, have you ever spent time at the Children's Museum?
I have.
Once or twice? Since your mom works there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summers.
Yeah. Yep. How about you, Mike? Been to the Children's Museum?
I've been there a couple times. Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, they've got lots of great things going on. All right, so we are going to take a break. We're going to be back in just a little bit. We're going to talk more about people, programs, partnerships here on the Extension Hour because we've got lots of things to mention. And we will be back right after this.
From the beginning, the main purpose of the Cooperative Extension Service has been to change human behavior by teaching people how to apply the results of scientific research. By utilizing a holistic, multi-level approach, Extension family and community health programs encourage health and well-being for everyone. Addressing values, concerns, and needs with reliable science-based information, Extension programs help people lead healthier lives. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
With the Extension Hour. People, programs, partnerships, Texas A&M, AgriLife Extension Service, cool things that we do with other folks. And so we've got Carmen Ortega here with us. She is the education coordinator at the Woodlands Children's Museum. She's been telling us a little bit about some of the things that are going on. So spring vacation and Get Fit Fridays in April, but there's also, into May, you were mentioning some cool things that are happening then.
Yeah, so this is a sneak peek on things that are going to come in May. Of course, we always have programs going on every Wednesday. on the floor, different educational themes. But we have a very special week in May. We are going to dedicate that week to Children's Book Week. We always do. So we're very excited because last year we didn't get to fully do that. But this year we're very excited to have it back on. And we have a special someone that's going to visit us, Llama Llama. Many of you might recognize that book title. She's going to come visit, and she'll be able to greet everybody, and we're going to have a pajama party.
Fun.
That will be the Saturday before Mother's Day. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's May 8th. I'm not quite sure, but let me just double check it. Yep, it's May 8th. We're going to have a pajama party, and Landon and I will also be a guest there too. I won't say why we will be there yet, but we will be special guests that date. And we're very excited and look forward to it. We're planning to partner up with the Montgomery County Library, and we have a special author that's also coming, and she'll be there with her book and just many different things. So we're very excited.
Yeah, great stuff happening.
Yes.
And it's like Book Week is a wonderful segue into one of the things that we brought Mike in to talk about. So one of the extension programs that we do is Families Reading Every Day. So Mike, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, Family Reading Every Day is something we have been doing primarily with the Head Start, but we've also done it with the YMCA and some other different groups around town. The goal is to get parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, any adult to read with the children. We're trying to develop a love of books, a love of reading, and help the children grow better vocabularies, better mentally by reading. It's a 4-week program. The first 2 weeks we ask that everybody read for 15 minutes per day. Then the second 2 weeks we bump that up to 30 minutes per day and just try to get as many different readers involved as we can.
And it's a pretty simple concept, right? Because you guys read on a regular basis anyway. And most of the families that we visit with when they participate in the FRED program, they often already read with their kids often. But so this is kind of the thing that I like about the program a lot is it's just one of those things to help us focus on reading. Because sometimes it is easy for habits to kind of slip sometimes, and we read here and there, but if you make it a point to read, and you're going to read because we're participating in the Families Reading Every Day program, then it just kind of gives you one more reason, like a motivation to read. And like Mike mentioned, often we do that with Head Starts. We've done it with elementary schools, YMCA, those kinds of things, but you don't have to be one of the at those sites to do it, because we in response to COVID and a lot of things going online, we had not had the FRED program on where you could participate online, right? You just had paper to fill out forms and that kind of thing. So we quickly during this time last year just kind of put it in overdrive and added an online component. So Mike, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, this is really exciting for us because COVID, like everything else in the world, has slowed down FRED, and we're wanting to ramp it back up. The families can contact us, the teachers can contact us, and we will have some training videos to show you how to log in, how to create your accounts, how to track your reading time. Try to make this as easy and user-friendly as we possibly can.
Right, and then so also when you sign up, there you sign up with an email, and then we add, we'll send some emails out that have like newsletters, so like tips and those kinds of things. We often add things that are going on in the community just so that people know that those kinds of things are happening. So you can participate with a group, or you could totally participate on your own. You could just sign up and you can do, it's a 4-week program, right? But you could continue every 4 weeks, take a week break in between, whatever you want to do, because it's just really flexible that way. So we're really excited, really glad that we had the web developers who helped us put that together so that we have that option for families. Neighborhoods, that's you could just like neighborhood mom could get everybody in the neighborhood to participate in FRED. And we have a lot of prizes in our office that we can share with folks who participate in it. it's, of course, things are kind of just strange right now with COVID and that kind of thing. So getting those distributed could be a little bit of a challenge, but we can figure out a way to do that. So how do you get to that website?
You go to fch.tamu.edu/Fred, and that'll get you to the registration site.
Yeah, so FCH stands for Family Community Health, so that's what our program area, and then TAMU stands for Texas A&M University, EDU for education, and then /Fred for Families Reading Every Day. So super easy to find, super easy to sign up, and we're always looking to improve the system too. So if there are suggestions that people have, if they participate in that, they can certainly share those with them. So that'd be a really cool connection to the Children's Book Week and other things that are happening. Anything else you want to add about Fred?
Well, we are always looking to have more families join us, so please, you don't have to be the sole reader. You can get older siblings to read. You can get cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, the next door neighbor. The more people that are showing the kids that adults do read, the better off those kids are, and the more that they learn to love reading themselves.
Exactly. Another thing that's like a benefit of the program, obviously reading together helps develop literacy skills, right? But
Yes.
it can also strengthen family relationships, because often, like, in school and that kind of thing, it's like go read by yourself. But if you're reading with a family member, you're spending that time together, and it helps strengthen those family bonds, which is a bonus. So you guys read together a lot, huh?
So Landon and I, of course, when he was younger, we'd read so much more, but now he's such a great independent reader. So he gets into his book series, and sometimes I'll just hear him laughing, and then he's like, you have to read this part. So he loves sharing something that he really likes in a story that he's found.
So Landon, are you ready? You want to tell us more about yourself? What kinds of things do you like reading?
I like reading like comic books, like Dogman and Captain Underpants.
Yeah, those are the book series. He actually, on our way here, he said, after the radio show, could you please take me to Barnes & Noble or Second and Charles? That's another place here that's locally in Conroe that we like to go to. Yeah.
So tell us again, what grade are you in? And get up to the microphone so we can hear your beautiful voice.
So I'm in 3rd grade.
Yeah? And what's your favorite thing at school? What's your favorite subject?
I would say science.
Okay. And what school do you go to?
Well, it's called CAA.
Which stands for?
Conroe Adventist Academy.
Okay, and so you and your mom did something pretty cool recently, right?
We made a book.
You made a book? Like just got some paper and put it together, or what?
So one night where my mom was working, an author came to our work, and then I asked her, like, how come kids can make, like, so the author was a kid. So I was asking my mom, how come kids can make their own book? So then she told me why, and then I was inspired to write a book.
Yeah. So what did she tell you when she told you why?
Well, this was a long time ago, so I can't really remember.
Carmen, do you remember? What did you tell him?
I do remember. So, of course, at the museum, we always have author visits, and, of course, to encourage families and children to see, like, it's a real person that's writing these books. And that author specifically, the illustration in the books were done by cancer patients at a hospital. They were done by children. So at the back of the book, we'd read it together that night. And the back of the book, it would say the name and the age. So he's like, wait, a 7-year-old, like, pictures in the book? How did that happen? And that kind of sparked the conversation. Well, I explained to them that they're patients and that she chose the illustrators to be done by them. And then he started asking me questions and said, well, we can write a book. Not even thinking how far we would go with it. We just started making a story that night. Immediately, I just took notes on my cell phone. And then from there, I actually put it in writing. And I did the physical part of writing it, but together we started writing a story. And now it's a published book. I mean, of course, a lot more goes into that. We started, that was in March of 2019, and the book didn't get published till December of 2020. A lot of it because of COVID.
Right.
It hit, everything slowed down, and so many other decisions, we had to take. But I don't know if you want to share something, Landon, that you liked about it. Or you want me to, who chose the characters? You want to share who the characters are?
So in the book, there's a girl named Clark and a boy named Landon, which Landon is my name, so I kind of just wanted to add a character named after me.
Yes, and he resembles him. So they're siblings, they're twins. And so the character Landon resembles my son Landon. And we did twins because my grandmother's a twin. So a lot of little Easter eggs in the book that have to do with our family. He got interviewed at his school, and everybody's like, wait, Landon, but you don't have a twin. So it kind of sparked conversation, definitely. That was one of the first questions I got asked was, why twins? And then I got to share, well, my grandmother's a twin. So that's always, I've been intrigued with twins since then. Like, that is so cool. Yeah. So we added that to the book, to the story. And Landon designed his own character. I wanted to share how I met the illustrator, Rocio.
So we do want to do that, but I want to take another break because there's a lot more some more questions that we want to ask. But we're going to just take a break for a second, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll talk more about people, programs, partnerships. We're going to talk about how to write a book according to Landon Medina. You ready? We'll do that right after this.
Many Hurricane Harvey survivors still face losses and emotional stress. A new hurricane season can add new stresses. Texans Recovering Together can help with local outreach for emotional support, education, resource referrals, and disaster preparation. It's free, confidential, and any Harvey survivor is eligible. Call Texans Recovering Together at 936-521-6143 or dial 211 for the provider near you.
We have the safest food supply in the world. Strict laws and regulations restrict the usage of hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides within our food supply. Production agriculture practices and technologies such as the use of GMOs, which is not any more or less risky than conventional crop production, has allowed American farmers to produce more food on less acres in environmentally sound ways. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make lives better.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Welcome back to the Extension Hour. I am Amy Ressler, and we have Carmen Ortega. She's with the Children's Museum, the Woodlands Children's Museum. She's the education coordinator with us. And then also Mike McBride is with us today, and he's been talking to us about families reading every day. Lots of other programs that we do at Extension, but the Families Reading Every Day was a really nice fit with this one because we have Landon Medina with us. And so Landon, before we started this show, we talked, I asked your mom, what's her title, just to make sure that I get it right, what's her title? And she said, at the museum. She said, yes. But she has other titles too, right? Mom, cook. What else? What else do you do, Carmen? Cook.
Chauffeur.
Yeah.
Chauffeur.
Yeah, definitely.
Nurse.
Yes. And then Landon, what would be your title?
Son.
Yep. Son, student. And now your title is an author because you've written a book. So before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about how the idea came to you guys. So an author had come to the Children's Museum, and you learned that the author was just 7 years old. And you were wondering, how the heck did that happen? And then so you just thought to yourself, I can do that too? Or Tell us a little bit more about the thoughts that went through your mind that kind of inspired you to want to write a book.
I was actually just surprised when I realized it was Kid.
Yeah, because what do you think that you have to do to write a book? If you weren't, kids don't write a book. What does it take to be an author? Before you wrote the book, what did you think?
I thought like it would take a long time to write the book, but it would be worth it.
There you go. You'd have to be like an old person like me and Mike, right? Old people write books. But kids can write books too because you know what you like to read, right? Mm-hmm. So what kinds of things do you like to read?
Well, I do like to write chapter books.
Yeah?
Read chapter books. So, but I read chapter books pretty fast, so we do a lot of book reading. I do a lot of book reading.
And you had mentioned that you wanted a character that was kind of like you, and then Carmen mentioned her grandmother was a twin, so you guys kind of liked that twin idea for your story. Mm-hmm. And then where did it go from there?
So every night we would just get on the computer and start writing words. Mm-hmm. And then throughout time, we just made pages.
Yes, that's very true. So every night, so I'm glad you mentioned that, every night I would say, okay, let's read what we wrote and see, do we want to change anything? Do we want to add? Because, of course, we didn't write the story the same day from start to finish.
Right.
We just started with an idea. We bounced around characters. He first wanted for him to have a pet. So Landon was the original character. Mm-hmm. And then we were very respectful of what we wanted. Like, okay, I'll listen to your ideas, listen to my ideas. And I told him, you really want Landon, but I really want Landon to have someone to talk to. Mm-hmm. He's an only child, but I have siblings. So I'm like, I want you to at least know what it's like to have a sibling in the book. And so we agreed on a twin and being a girl. And then from there, we did both know we wanted a Christian book, and we got inspired. And I let him choose what the storyline was sort of going to be about, because we both collaborated. So Clark and Landon have a special, what, Landon, you want to share in the back of their house?
We have a tree house.
They have a tree house in the story, and Landon really wanted a tree house. And they have a very special box, and then when you see the illustrations, you see it's just a cardboard box, but when you have a child's imagination, that cardboard box can be a spaceship, it can be a car, it can be a house. You can do whatever you want with your imagination, right, with the box. But for Landon and Clark, that special box takes them back in time. So it's a special treasure box that takes them back in time. So and every time they find an item inside, they go back. We're hoping to turn this into a series. So this is our first book.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, like, how did you come up with this idea, and did you have more than one idea? Did you have like 15 ideas to start with?
Yeah, we had different ideas, but whichever one we both like, it kind of came natural. Like, yeah, we both like that. Let's move forward with it.
So what are you thinking that Landon and Clark might do next?
Well, we haven't begun starting the new book, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it and make ideas.
just wing it. We're just gonna wing it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so just kind of see where it goes from there. Yeah. Well, so let's talk just a little bit more about this book. So you've got this idea, right? And I think people often have an idea of, I'd like to write a book, and a children's book, definitely to help inspire other kids. But how do you make that actually happen?
Well,
I think that's the part that I kind of took over more. He definitely helped with the storyline, and there's certain phrases that are specifically he wanted them. Like, I'll share one. On one part we wrote, "Wow, Landon," and then he's like, "No, let's not do wow. Let's do wowzers." Like that, I'll never forget that moment because he was very specific of things he wanted in it, and I was like, "That sounds great. We'll change it." And, we added that in the book, but of course, working at the museum, I've had a lot of experience and exposure to different authors, and I've been able to talk to them and meet them and say, "Hey, how did you write a book?" Even before I even had the idea,
right.
I was just curious what the process is. And, of course, there's different ways to publish the book. We did it through Barnes & Noble Press. That's who we went through, and we submitted it. But before that, it was a little hard, and I want to share this with people. Like, don't be afraid if someone says no. You just keep going, even which is part of the book. Like, you're brave and courageous, and to pursue any dream that you have. Because even as an adult, I was even nervous, like a vulnerable feeling, like someone's gonna read what we wrote. I don't know if I want to share that yet. But then I'm like, it's okay, just do it. So then I just kind of looked up the process and how to do it, and kind of winged it. Like Landon shared, maybe he gets that from me. I was like, I'm just gonna wing to see how I can do this. And I met the illustrator just at the right time. And
tell us about that.
Yeah, so she had reached out to me because she was interested in a job at the museum. And at the moment, I wasn't thinking that I needed one. And within a week after, I needed an art teacher. So I called her. I did not know she was an illustrator. I had not shared that I was writing a book with anybody at the museum. And I called her, and when I'm interviewing her, I really, really like her. And then she explains, yes, I'm an illustrator. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't say anything to her, but then later on I was like, hey, let's have some coffee sometime. I would like to talk to you about something, not about the museum, but, I want to share it with you. And then she shared with me that her passion has been to write a Christian children's book. Like, not write, but illustrate for her writing. So it kind of felt like meant to be, because it was right at the right time. And I only needed her for a month to teach that class. And then we became friends after that. So she's been really, really great she made me draw little stick figures of what I want.
Yeah.
Usually,
visual concepts.
Visual concepts. Usually they, traditionally, let's just say, authors and illustrators, they kind of keep them separate, so not one feels like the author doesn't tell them how they should do their art, and then the illustrator has the freedom to be artistic the way they want to. But she was really great about, even draw stick figures. I want to do it exactly how you envision it. That's what I want to do. So she was great. Rocio Ortiz was really, really good about that. And she did an amazing job.
So tell us again, what is her name?
Rocio Ortiz.
All right.
Yeah.
And so, Landon, what do you think about the characters and the illustrations? I mean, how the character do they look like kind of what you thought that they might look like?
Not really. But
No, that's okay.
There's some things I actually like, even though it's not what I actually wanted.
Like what? Which one?
The characters.
Like Landon and Clark?
Yeah.
Oh. How did you want them to look?
I don't know.
He just said he wanted them to look like him. And since, of course, they're twins, they both have curly hair. A little different, so they're not identical twins, of course. Yeah.
All right, so tell us more about so you found the Barnes & Noble Publishings, but is that like a self-publishing? How it is? I mean, you do it online?
Yeah,
or
you do it online.
You have to contact?
You have to, it is kind of contact. You submit a manuscript through them, and they have to approve to see if that's something that they want to go behind. And then, but it's fairly easy the way you can do it. Once you write it, you submit it, and then you wait to see if they accepted. And then they did, and they're just like, congratulations. That was exciting to get that email.
Yeah.
So now it's being sold. I have copies, but it's being sold through barnesandnoble.com right now.
So only online, or can you get them in the stores?
Only online right now.
Okay.
And then, of course, I have copies, so anybody can contact me if they want a copy.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how would they find it at Barnes & Noble online?
At Barnes & Noble, if you go to barnesandnoble.com, and on I don't think I've even shared the name of the book, Operation Twins. So Operation Twins, The Roaring Giant. If you look it up in the search bar, it should pop up, or by my name or Landon, so Carmen Ortega or Landon Medina. You search us up and the book will show up immediately. So it's Operation Twins, The Roaring Giant.
All right. And then people could contact you directly as well?
Directly. My number is 936-777-4612. Or you can send an email to operationtwins@gmail.com.
All right. So, Landon, is there any advice that you have for another kid that might want to write a book?
Never give up on your dreams.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we'll kind of wrap up, because we've been kind of all over the place with our conversation today. But what I like to do is kind of do like a top 10 things that we want people to remember. So we're going to talk about Children's Museum. We're going to talk about Fred, and we're going to talk about writing a book or the book that you wrote. So we'll take a couple minutes. We'll come back and everybody will have like kind of a top 5. Can you do top 5? Top 5? Yeah. I know if you can write a book, you can come up with 5 tips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take that break. We'll be back right after this here on Lone Star Radio 104.5, 106.1, worldwide on irlonestar.com. We'll be back right after this.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Second Saturday Divorce Workshop provides unbiased information to help you understand your options and move forward with your life. This divorce workshop is for you if you are contemplating divorce, in the process of divorce, already filed for divorce, or post-divorce. You will explore the emotional, legal, and financial aspects of divorce from professionals who have guided others through divorce. For more information on this divorce workshop, contact secondsaturdaywoodlands.com or call 832-375-0900.
What can the Better Living for Texans program do for you? You can learn how to increase your consumption of fruits and vegetables, choose foods that are relatively inexpensive and good to eat, make your food dollars last longer, prepare quick, nutritious meals, help your children learn how to eat healthier snacks, and much more. Our program is committed to helping people like you improve your health through providing research-based nutrition education in a friendly, cost-free, and relaxed environment. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
And welcome back. This is Extension Hour, People, Programs, Partnerships of Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, all the cool things that we do. And, before we end up this hour, I just wanted to mention that we are continuing to respond to COVID. So we have changed the way we do some of our programming. But we are, so things are, I hesitate to say get back to normal, because who even knows what normal is to begin with. But there are some things that are continuing to happen. And so some things have been happening online, and some things are starting to happen again in person. And one of those things is, so our 4-H program has been continuing, but 4-H is a youth development organization for kids in 3rd grade through 12th grade. It's a great opportunity for kids to really explore a lot of their interests. So writing or performing. A lot of people associate 4-H with animals and showing at the stock show and that kind of thing, but also food and nutrition, clothing and textiles. There's just so many things that kids can do in 4-H, and just having an inspiring young man like Landon here made me want to make sure that I mentioned 4-H and youth development. What's going to happen in at the end of April, first part of May, that very last weekend that kind of overlaps the turn of the month, we're going to have our annual Big Time and D9, which is a culmination of all of these contests that we have that happen. And so we're not sure exactly how it's going to look. It's going to be a little different, but there will be lots of contests going on. So that's a good time to just kind of see. You can find out more information about contests, kind of see how they happen. Depending on how things, I don't know, we may have some, I don't know how much spectator we'll be able to do, but we're always looking for judges and that kind of thing, so we need volunteers to help with those contests. One other thing that I would mention is childcare training. For childcare providers, they need continuing education hours, and Texas A&M AgriLife Extension is offering childcare trainings virtually. So on Saturdays, and it's like one Saturday a month, 9 to noon, childcare providers can get 3 of the hours that they need for their clock hours for continuing education to maintain licensure and that kind of thing. So even working with kids, it's good to have that kind of information. And there's another one. So March 27th is the next one that's coming up. So if you'd like to know more about that, let me know. All right. So we said we would do kind of top 5 for just kind of closing out. So like things that you just want people to remember and kind of leave with. And so, Carmen, we talked a little bit about the Children's Museum. So tell us what your top 5 are.
So my top 5 would be to visit the museum next week for spring break. Everyone's out of school. We have different performers and different educational programming going on. And if you want to know more, of course, it's on our website at Woodlands Children's Museum.org, and you can look at our calendar. In April, we have Get Fit Friday. So every Friday, we are trying to reach our initiative of eating healthy and exercising. So Get Fit Fridays will have different guests, including Chef Plate will be there visiting us. And that you can also find it on our website, on our calendar. And in May, we're going to have Children's Book Week. We're going to dedicate an entire week to Children's Book Week. And we have a special guest that Saturday. That Friday and Saturday, we're going to have May 7th and 8th. Llama Llama from our classic book series, and she'll be there, and we'll have a pajama party. Oh, and I didn't mention that Saturday, since it's Mother's Day weekend, Landon and I will be special guests that day. Nice. And we're going to read our book, to the museum, and then we'll stay afterwards to do greeted meets, and if somebody wants the book, they can get it there. So I'm really excited because it will be our first time reading together. I've been fortunate that when he's at school, I've read at other schools. So he'll be there with me. And another thing is that we just want to inspire people, not just by writing, but it's definitely a bonding experience, Landon and I getting to do this. So I just encourage families, even if it's like a niece with an aunt or anybody that you want to start a project, can be gardening, just to do it. It's very fun. It was very fun, and I'll never forget it, this experience. Yeah.
All right, Landon, your turn. Top 5. I want to write a book. Tell me what to do.
Write if you have an idea. Have fun reading. Visit the museum. Read to everyone you know. Read our book, Operation Twins.
There you go. Good. And so reading Operation Twins is one of the things that you can do with the Families Reading Everyday program.
There you go.
So Mike, top 5 for
my top
Fred.
5 is when, why, where, why. I can't speak English. the 5 W's. Okay, so when is anytime you want to start, we can get a group going. You can be with your school, a Sunday school, or just an independent family. Where? Your house, but why be limited at the house? You can take your books out to a park by a lake and enjoy nature. Who? Anyone in the family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, older siblings. And then the why, the big reason, is that kids who learn to read earlier tend to love reading earlier. They do better in school, they stay in school, they have fewer behavior problems in school. So get those kids reading.
Yeah, lots of good tips. And so you mentioned anybody can read, and also you don't even necessarily have to be like in the same city. So unfortunately, my grandchildren live like really way too far away, but we have the option to be able to, we do like Messenger chat a lot, or FaceTime. So my daughter got an Android phone, right? But whatever, that's a whole different story. And I have an iPhone, so it's hard to sometimes it's hard to connect. But even with Facebook Messenger and that kind of thing, so just we can read stories that way. So there's lots of ways to do that, and I am looking forward to reading Operation Twins to find out who it is that they meet when they go back into time, and what is it that they learn. So. Without giving away too much, if you were to say that there's a moral of the story or the point to the story, what would you say that point is?
I'm going to have Landon read the back, a little quote.
Okay.
So you can share this, Landon, right here. You want to read it loud and clear.
So this is what it says. Believe in yourself and always be brave, no matter the giant. We may be tiny, but our God is almighty. He gives you courage and strength.
Nice. I like it. And that's a really nice way to end this extension hour. So thank you so much for being with us, Carmen and Landon, and thanks for hanging out with us, Mike. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about, there's information in the post about the show, but definitely give us a call. One more time, phone number.
For the Children's Museum, 281-465-0955.
And for Operation Twins?
For Operation Twins, 936-777-4612.
And for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, any of the programs that we offer. I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I just drew a total blank.
And we also do master memory classes.
Yeah.
936-539-7825. We actually have several numbers, and that's what it is. Like, and I kind of trip over it every time I'm talking about the numbers, because we have 7825, 7824, 7823, 7822. So any of those numbers will get you to our menu system. But we also, we have a great website too that's got lots of good information on it as well. All right, so thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for listening to another edition of the Extension Hour. We'll be back next time with more of our people, our programs, our partnerships with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. Thanks for joining us.